Hi, Mike Brinkley, auctioneer. Here with you today to discuss and talk about bidder registration. And some argue that bidding is merely a privilege and can be discretionary, arbitrary, no particular pattern. I have argued for as long as I can remember that bidding is a right. And so let's talk about the two differences here. First of all, who sets the terms for registration? Typically the auctioneer, in concert with the permission and knowledge of the seller client, who says, yes, to register at this, we're selling a farm. So I need a driver's license. I need them to sign the terms and conditions, and I need $2,500 check payable to the auctioneer. And we're going to stuff that in a box here by my knee. And then if they're the buyer, that $2,500 is going to be applied to the purchase price, deposited, what have you. And if they don't buy, we're going to return that check to them. Now, those are the terms for today's auction in order for somebody to get a bid number. So I have a gentleman come up. He says, here's my driver's license. Here's my $2,500. And I say, no, I'm not going to allow you to bid. What's he going to say? Well, I got the driver's license. I got $2,500. What do you mean I can't bid? Can't register. I mean, you're kidding me. I have someone else come up and say, I've got a driver's license. I don't have $2,500. And the auctioneer says, well, I know you, Jill. I know we went to high school together. Goodness sakes, that driver's license, fine, forget the $2,500. We'll get that tomorrow. What's this bidder over here say? There's, well, I had the $2,500. You wouldn't let me register. You knew her from high school and suddenly she doesn't need $2,500? I mean, if you think this thing isn't litigated, if you don't think there's been lawsuits about this, I can assure you there have been, because I've been hired to help with them. And when there's discretion, particularly arbitrary, done on the fly, oh, we went to high school together. Oh, I know you. Well, you're the neighbor. Well, you're related to the seller, so we're going to give you different terms. You can give all those bidders different terms if ahead of time you say, here's an example. I need a driver's license, $2,500, unless we went to high school together. Then I don't need the $2,500. If those are your terms, then people could come up. The gentleman comes up and says, here's my driver's license. I understand if I went to high school with Tim, so I don't need the $2,500. You say, that's right, you don't need it. Somebody else comes up, they say, well, he didn't need $2,500. I'm not going to give you $2,500. Did you go to high school with Tim? No, I didn't go to high school with Tim. Well, then we need $2,500. See, that you could set those criteria. You could set the barrier to entry, essentially here, ahead of time. But doing it on a discretionary, arbitrary basis, where bidding is a privilege that I can pass out in different ways and methods to different bidders, just depending, I guess, on what mood I'm in, is the wrong practice. Set the criteria. If the bidder meets or exceeds the criteria, they have earned a right to participate. So you register and you allow them to bid. If they don't meet the criteria, they don't meet the terms and conditions for registering for that auction, for participating in that auction, you do not let them participate. I've told this story 100 times. I get a call from an attorney. He's interested in a lot that's selling next door to his law office. And how many times do you get to buy the lot next door? Selling at auction. He registers. You need $50,000 and a driver's license to register for the auction. He has it. Here's $50,000. Here's my driver's license. Auctioneer gives a bid card. Auction gets underway. Auctioneer says, I would like $1 million opening bid. The attorney says, I give you $1 million. And he can't get any more. There's no further bidding. All of a sudden, as I recall, a Chevy Caprice comes down the street, stops out front. Guy gets out of his car. He says, hey, what are you selling? We're selling this land here. Well, what's the bid? He said $1 million. He said, well, hell, I give you $1.1 million. Auctioneer takes his bid. What's the problem? He's not registered. Now, the auctioneer argued when this got to court, because the final bid was close to $2 million, that, well, I just gave that other bidder an exception to the rules. I allowed him to bid. And what are of all things, an attorney who is a buyer? What did he argue? What did we argue? He didn't meet or exceed the criteria. He didn't have a driver's license. He didn't produce a driver's license. He didn't give me a $50,000 check. How you letting him bid? Well, because I have discretion. We have long held that a better place to be than winning in court or losing in court is staying out of court. You want to get in court, you want to be pursued as an auctioneer, have arbitrary, capricious, flexible registration for your bidders so that one bidder has a certain kind of qualification or things in place to prove that they're able to bid, and another bidder has different criteria. And a third bidder maybe doesn't need a driver's license or a check. And we're just going to let you all participate in a discretionary fashion because I can pass it out as I please. Horrible policy. Horrible. Set your terms, whatever they may be, and then when the registration starts, stick to it. Stay right there. Bidder comes up. I don't have a driver's license. Well, you got time. Look at your watch. You got time to run home and get it, but I'm not giving you a bid card unless you got a driver's license. Well, I mean, I've been to lots of your auctions, or I know the seller, or I've lived next door for 32 years. I'm sorry, but that's our rule. That's our rule. Because as soon as another bidder who had to produce a driver's license finds out that another bidder without a driver's license is bidding against them, pushing the price up, what are they going to say? Why are you letting this person bid? They didn't meet the criteria. I shouldn't have had to pay this much. Where's my attorney? We'll see you in court. Want to stay out of court? I would think you would. Set your bidding requirements ahead of time and stay there. Mike Brantley, Auctioneer. Pleasure to be with you today. Lots of other videos on the same page, others forthcoming. Have a great day and stay safe.